Yo, I'm Zach with the Florida Float Brothers. I'm here with my float wife, and today I'm gonna teach you how to bonk on a one wheel. It can easily be done on both the XR and the Pint. A bonk, as it's called, is basically bouncing the tire off a ledge, curb, tree root, or any other bump in the road, so to speak, to get airtime with that one wheel. I was actually super surprised how easy it was to bonk. The hardest part, honestly, was just getting up the courage to try it. To really simplify and break down the physics of a bonk, let's check out this tire. Watch what happens when it hits the bump in the road. You see how it pops up after hitting it? Behold the bonk. That's what you're doing with the one wheel when you do a bonk. The main difference is the weight. You're a human body that needs to lift with the one wheel and it's 30-ish pounds. But the nice part for you have a powerful motor that can give you that extra burst of speed necessary to get you airborne. I learned in Delirium or Skyline on the Pint, but really whatever's comfortable for you, I just stick with that. The less aggressive modes were a lot harder to get air off of, but you could still do it. So honestly, I wouldn't worry too much about what mode you're in. I found that a narrower stance is easier, mostly because I ride with flight fins and always have a narrow stance. I did find that a wider stance was still possible, so I wouldn't stress too much about that either. In order to try a bonk, you're first gonna need to find a bump. This can be a tree root, a secure piece of wood, a speed bump, a shallow curb. Whatever you choose, I'd recommend it's pretty solid. You don't want the bump moving on you when you hit it. Bumps that have angle to it, more like a ramp, are good too, instead of something at a 90-degree angle, because when first learning, you can ride over them easier if you get the timing wrong of the bonk. I wouldn't really recommend anything over 2 or 3 inches high to start out, as it's more likely to completely stop your one wheel instead of bonk you up in the air. Anything higher would be a curb nudge, which we'll do a tutorial on that later. I actually ordered this parking block from Amazon so I could practice bonks anywhere I wanted to. I'll link it in the description below. Once you've found your bump, it's time to start bonking and bumping and bonking. Bonking and bonking. Step 1, put on your brain bucket. I'd also recommend wrist guards for this one, as there's a chance you would need them. Step 2, approach the bump you're about to bonk off of straight on. You want to hit it perpendicularly so that your one wheel doesn't try to rotate or roll on you in the air. Right before your wheel hits the obstacle, you're going to need to push down with the front foot pad. This is what creates that force required to get a good bounce or pop off of the obstacle. This is the part I like to call the snap. When you push the nose down, you don't want it to be a gradual push. You want to really force it down quick. But as you're pushing the nose down, you're bending your knees and springing or jumping up to let the one wheel lift up off the ground with you. This is definitely the most technical part of it, learning the timing of that jump. I've found that basically as your wheel's hitting the object is when you want to jump. The height of the bonk depends partially on the speed of the one wheel and height of the object you hit, but mostly comes down to how high you lift your knees. Flight fins help a ton with adding extra height as well. The part where you push the nose down and jump up immediately happens super fast, hence why I call it the snap. With practice, this becomes one fluid motion. Bend your knees as you land, keeping your weight centered over the one wheel, and float away. Final step is just practice, practice, practice. If you have any other questions, don't hesitate to ask in the comments below. And post a video of yourself landing your first bonk on Instagram and tag @FloridaFloatBrothers. We'd love to see it. If you like this video, don't forget to hit subscribe and ring that notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos. And if you missed last week's video, click it up there. Stay safe and float on, my friends. Bonkin', 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 sticking with our day jobs. When you, let me see.